Ever feel like you're spinning your wheels with your money? You're trying to do all the right things, tracking your spending, trying to save, but you're just not getting ahead? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're about to completely reframe how you think about your finances, moving away from all those tiny, frustrating cuts and focusing on the massive, meaningful wins.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. Why doesn't cutting lattes make you rich? I mean, we've all heard this advice a million times, right? Just skip the daily coffee and boom, you'll be a millionaire. But does it actually work? If you've ever felt like that advice just completely misses the point, you're not alone, and you're absolutely right.
And this slide shows you exactly why. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got this high-effort grind of tracking every single coffee, which, let's be honest, saves you a few bucks a month. Minimal result. But on the other side, one single focused effort, like preparing for one conversation to negotiate your salary. The results of that? Potentially life-changing gains over the long term. The effort isn't even comparable, but the impact is night and day.
So, this huge difference between effort and results, it isn't random. It's actually explained by a really powerful, proven principle that can totally transform your financial life. It's time for the 80-20 revelation.
This is the core idea. It's officially known as the Pareto Principle, and it basically says that for most things in life, a huge majority of the results, we're talking like 80%, come from a very small minority of your efforts, around 20%. Let that sink in. It means not all your effort is created equal, not even close.
And this isn't some new age productivity hack. This idea has been around for over 100 years. It all started in the early 1900s with an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto. He was looking at land ownership in Italy and noticed something incredible. Just 20% of the people owned 80% of the land. And this principle has held up. It's now a foundational concept in business, in productivity, and now for your personal finances.
This chart just makes it so simple to see. A tiny 20% slice of your efforts can generate that massive 80% slice of your results. This means the key to financial success isn't about working harder on everything, it's about identifying and focusing only on that critical 20%. So if we can identify that vital 20% in our own financial lives, we can achieve some incredible results. So let's look at what those are. It's time to talk about your financial big wins. These are the 4 areas that make up your 20%. Seriously, forget about the hundreds of other small things for a moment. Boosting your income, investing consistently, killing high-interest debt, and automating your finances, these are the high-impact actions that will deliver 80% of your wealth.
Well, let's start with the most important one, income. Because here's the thing, there's a limit to how much you can save, but there's virtually no limit to how much you can earn. Focusing your energy on learning new skills, getting that raise, or starting a side hustle has a multiplying effect that no amount of coupon clipping could ever match. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Lasting success is about focusing on that handful of actions, the big wins that truly move the needle. It's about being a strategist with your money, not just an accountant for your coffee budget. All right, now that we know what to focus on, it's just as important to understand what to ignore. So let's talk about the common money distractions that pull our attention away from the big wins and, honestly, just keep us stuck.
And here it is, the #1 trap. We get so caught up feeling guilty about buying a snack or a subscription that we completely ignore the giant expenses that are actually sinking our budget. A perfect example of this is the story of Saya. Okay, so meet Saya. She earns a good income, but she always feels broke. And why is that? She tries to save by skipping outings with friends, which saves her maybe 2% of her income. But here's the kicker. A staggering 60% of her money is eaten up by her luxury apartment and car. Her focus is on the 80% of trivial expenses, while the 20% of major costs are draining her wealth. And it's not just about big expenses. Other common traps include hoarding cash instead of investing it for the long term, and reacting to financial fear by penny pinching even harder instead of looking for ways to increase your income. These are all symptoms of focusing on the wrong things. Okay, so we've got the theory, we know the big wins, and we know the traps to avoid. So how do we put this all together? The answer is to stop making a million one-off decisions and start building your own 80-20 system. Here is your simple 4-step action plan. First, track your spending just long enough to find those big, recurring expenses that are doing the most damage. Second, prioritize your big goals, like paying off that credit card. Third, consciously ignore the noise, the flash sales and money-saving tips that just distract you. And finally,
Automate everything. This is so key.
This is why automation is so powerful. It turns your big win decisions into a system that just works for you in the background. It removes emotion and willpower from the equation. Wealth isn't built by 1,000 random acts of saving, it's built by a simple, consistent, and automated system.
So I want to leave you with this question to really think about. What is the one high-impact 20% action you can take this week? Will it be setting up an automatic investment, researching how to ask for a raise? Find that one thing and you'll be on the path to winning big.